Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another market update. If you are new around here, welcome. My name is Jonathan Randin. I've been trading now for over 8 years. I'm also working for a prop firm called the Fivers, and I'm also a market analyst for a cryptocurrency exchange called Prime XBT, and I'm the founder of Clarity Edge Analysis. And here on this YouTube channel, I share daily market updates on the key levels that matter. So make sure that you do hit that like and subscribe. And to all my current subscribers and the returning viewers, I love you all. Welcome to the video. If you do have any requests for any specific charts that you want me to look at throughout these daily market updates, please leave a comment in the comment section and I will take a look at that. Today we're going to take a look at the S&P 500, we're going to look at Euro USD, gold, and the Bitcoin. But before we do that, we're going to look at the dollar. Okay, so China came out and announced another set of tariffs on the US, now up to 125% tariffs on US goods. Crazy market. And as you can see here, if you zoom in on the dollar currency index right here, you see that we are breaking below very important levels. Now, most of the dollar currency index chart you will see out on Twitter or whatever, out on social media, you'll probably look at this range. So this is on the weekly, and most likely you're going to look at this range that we, entered around 2022. Now, I want to bring your attention to this. If we zoom out, and what I want you to do is I want you to focus on the last 20 years of price action. This is going back all the way to 2005. And what I've marked out here is three different types of ranges. And I just want to bring your attention to this wide range right here, because that is the current range that the dollar is trading within. Now, it's important to note here that the current range that the dollar is trading within is actually quite far away from the average price of the USD, which means that the level that we have been trading around for the last few years is actually could almost be seen as almost an anomaly in the overall high time frame structure of things, especially if you go out to the monthly. And given the fact that we are seeing a very different macro environment today than we have seen throughout this whole range, the question becomes, is the Trump tariffs, do they have the potential for us to, or do they have the potential to create a completely new paradigm shift in the financial markets? Now, nobody knows, but there's certainly a possibility of that. And if that happens, we might actually enter a completely new cycle for the dollar. Let's put on a volume profile tool here. Now, we got to make sure that, let's see. Profile. I'm not sure if the volume profile actually works on this chart like this, but we're gonna try anyway. Okay, obviously it doesn't work. Never mind. What I wanted to show you basically is the average price traded for the US dollar index. I might have to get back to this using the proper chart, but you can clearly see with your eyes here that you would kind of look at this as the average traded price for the USD. So we are at an extreme. So while a lot of people are saying, this is just another dip in an overall bullish market, talking about Bitcoin and the S&P 400, keep this in mind. If we enter a completely new paradigm shift for the financial markets and we enter a previous cycle, we are going to see a heavy reset, most likely, of the markets. And that might mean a possible recession. Now, if you're a member of the Discord server, you remember that I did post a market update in December last year, lining out the scenario for a potential recession this year, starting around the beginning of summer. We are a bit early, probably because of the Trump's tariffs, but the plan is rolling along nicely. We are most likely, in my mind, looking at a possible recession this year. Now, let's take a look at USD. Now, the dollar currency index is mostly weighted against the USD. I think it's 50% USD, Euro USD. So let's take a look at Euro USD right here. As the dollar is showing weakness, of course, Euro USD is showing great strength. Again, entering a previous range, a previous high time frame range, just like with the dollar currency index, because they are quite correlated because of the weighting of the basket of currencies that are in the dollar currency index. Looking at this level as a resistance, we can see that this level is also the previous high time frame range lows, and we are now coming up and testing the range highs area. The move that we saw today, if we go into the daily, is absolutely absurd. While doing the analysis for my update in the community this morning, we were trading down here. From doing that analysis in the morning till it moved over 1.5%. The volatility here is just absolutely insane. But clearly, you can see that Euro USD have broken above a level and has not traded above this level since the beginning of 2022. So the signs of a potential new cycle in the markets are clearly written all over the place on the charts. So for a possible position here on Euro USD, what I'm looking for is obviously the area around 1.15 as high time frame resistance. If we can come up and test that 1.15 area and potentially create some type of distribution range up here, then I am looking for a short on Euro USD. And to the downside, of course, we have the 1.12 area. If Euro USD can come down and test the 1.12 area, then I will potentially look to establish a long position and accumulate Euro USD for another push up and potentially enter that new range. A failure to hold this level as support, then it's the 1.09 area down here as we are looking for. So either a short here, a long here, failure to hold that level, and we are looking for a short down to the 1.09 area. Moving on to S&P 500. So what happened here was we had the 90-day pause on the tariffs, like I explained in yesterday's update. By the way, go check that one out if you have not already. And remember to hit that like, guys. Remember to hit that like and subscribe if you haven't already. So we had a 90-day pause here, and we came up, and even though we had a strong move, we didn't really reclaim any significant levels. The significant level that needs to be reclaimed for the S&P 400, it's obviously the 5,500 level, and that never happened. So there's still great weakness in the market is what I'm looking at. We also have on the 4-hour right here, we did have the double bottom formation explained in yesterday's video, and we then came down and hit the neckline of that W structure. One of the most simplest price action structure in the market is the double tops and the double bottoms, and I really love trading them based on the break and retest of the neckline. You can see here that we also came down and hit the 50% fib measured from that low to this high. This is the Monday high and the W neckline structure, and also the 50% fib. Beautiful, beautiful price action right here. And look at what happens if we go into the 1 hour. We also have a W structure on the neckline of the bigger W structure, and we also have a break and retest of the neckline of that W structure, really showing the significance of using these simple price action pattern in your analysis. Now, where do we go from here on the S&P 400? Nobody knows, but what we do know is that if we reclaim the 5.5K, we have great macro strength, and if we reclaim the 5.8, we are back in a bull market. Failure to regain that level, we show weakness and go below the Monday high, and we potentially go down to test the 2022 highs once again. And we also see the potential of creating a longer term range in this area that might look something like this based on this high and the low created with that double bottom. Now, moving on to Bitcoin. Now, this is actually very, very interesting because what we see right here is that Bitcoin is actually stronger than S&P 500. That's the same pattern, right? It's the same pattern. We have a W structure here in the 4-hour. We have a W structure on the hit of the neckline of the bigger W structure. Exactly the same type of pattern that we have on the S&P 400, but Bitcoin is actually approaching the local highs right here, and it has reclaimed this high time frame strength level. So Bitcoin is actually stronger than the S&P 500, which is quite incredible, right? Now, looking at the daily for Bitcoin, now the high time frame level that really needs to be reclaimed for Bitcoin to truly enter its I mean, it's still in the bull market. If you go out to the weekly, you see that it's clearly still in the bull market. Very clear higher highs and higher lows. But for Bitcoin to really accelerate this bullish move, we need to reclaim the 88 or even 89, maybe even 90K region. So this region up here, we still see a local downtrend. But it's very interesting that Bitcoin on the medium to low time frame is showing much better strength than the S&P 400. So what happens from here on Bitcoin? Well, we are at high time frame resistance, but a move like this would definitely signal a potential long position. And if the markets are going to close like this, I think we're going to get some really good strength going into the weakness. So for those of you trading over the weekend, not recommended, but those of you, the degenerates out there trading crypto market on the weekend, look out for this pattern right here. Last but not least, the golden goose, gold. Oh my god, it's insane, isn't it? It's just insane. The moves that we're seeing on gold is just absolutely crazy. Remember yesterday's update? I talked about how we wanted to see a test of 3.1. We did see a move down to 3,103. That was the low prior to the breakout. If you got in on that one, congratulations. You're in on that one and you're making money. I did not enter that one. I'm not making money. But this is a great example of simple technical analysis, just looking at horizontal levels and trying to make plans like this. It works. It's quite simple. You want to make plans, one bullish case, one bearish case, just like we did here. If we bounce on 3.1, maybe you want to get on that one for the move into new all-time highs, break below this level, perhaps go down and test the neckline of that W and the untested breakout level. Not financial advice, of course. Okay, quick video. That's today's update for you guys. Make sure that you hit that follow, hit that like. Make sure that you follow along on these market updates and let me know in the comments if there's anything you want me to cover in these updates going forward. Take care and thank you for your time. Thank you for watching. Have a great weekend.